What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and we now have the official arrival time of the reconciliation bill in the Senate. This has just come out. I'm going to get you caught up on the latest. We've got video footage so you can see it for yourself and headlines coming out left and right. This is your breaking news, stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Now, regarding stimulus checks, we're going to be seeing if these unfold after the passage of this bill. We've heard a lot is going to be happening right after the reconciliation bill is passed. And also, speaking of checks, if you haven't already, add yourself to the list to get access to all the checks across the nation. States, cities, and counties are sending out checks all the time, and people are missing out. They don't know about them. I'm assembling them into one massive comprehensive list so you don't miss out on anything, making it easy to access so you know where to go to see if you're eligible. All you got to do is go to www.reliefroadmap.com, put in your email, get access to the list. Now, like I said, this is all going to be happening after the passage of the reconciliation bill, which, take a look at these headlines, you guys. Senate will take up Democrats' tax, climate, and health bill on Saturday, Schumer says the Senate is going to be taking the day off today, back in session tomorrow, so that way they can push this through. We've heard that Kirsten Sinema is on board. They're making modifications to the bill right now. Take a look at this, you guys. All 50 Senate Democrats reach an agreement on Manchin's Inflation Reduction Act, Schumer says, saving Biden's agenda. And very briefly, before we dive into the video footage so you can hear it for yourself directly from Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, take a look at this article that's going to be summarizing what we're about to see. Senate Democrats' massive bill to address climate change, taxes, healthcare, and inflation will move forward in the Senate on Saturday afternoon, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer announced yesterday on Thursday. Democrats are trying to pass the bill under a budget process known as reconciliation, which allows Democrats to pass the legislation without the threat of a Republican filibuster. All 50 Democratic senators will need to vote for the bill in order for it to pass, with a tie-breaking vote from Vice President Kamala Harris. The vote Saturday afternoon would be a procedural one to begin the debate. So just to clarify, it is not going to be done, but this means they have approval, they have a deal, they're moving forward. Still has to go through the parliamentarian, go through the birdbath process, get passed in the Senate, move on to the House, be passed there, and if any modifications happen, the process has to start over, but essentially, eventually, it will end up on the president's desk with the passage this Saturday. Now, it says the vote Saturday afternoon will be the procedural one. Up to 20 hours of debate can take place, split evenly between both parties. It's likely that the full 20 hours will not be needed. Democrats are expected to yield back a majority of their time. Then a process known as the vote-a-rama begins, which means senators can introduce unlimited amendments to the legislation. There also could be a call for the entire 725-page bill to be read aloud. A lot of stall tactics, a lot of attempts to slow things down with the passage of the bill, and we've already heard that Democrats, Senator Bernie Sanders is already calling for amendments, saying this reconciliation bill is nice, but he called it weak, said there's not enough provisions for the American people, calling for child tax credits, free college tuition, free childcare, bringing back, like I mentioned, a lot of the provisions of the past that are not included but were promised, trying to get them back in the bill. Now, we will see, because if they are included, if amendments are made to the bill, that might change the perspective of Senator Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema, which are finally on board. So we will see, but it's very likely that any amendments will get excluded and will come after, as we've heard, through other proposals, bills, executive actions, executive orders. So let's go ahead and dive right in, though, get you caught up on the latest. Now, before we do, also, if you could do me a quick favor, smash the like button for me if you appreciate the updates, keeping you up to speed on everything going on in Congress, with our economy, with stimulus. I'll keep you up to date, and if you want to stay up to date, it's totally free. Why not? Come join the Ram fam. All you got to do is very quickly hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Any specific questions, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. Consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, where you can learn about growing wealth, personal finance, unlock a lot of secrets I've learned over the years from multimillionaires that have helped create financial success. I know right now things are very difficult in our economy and for people, so any little bit helps. So I hope that that channel is a blessing to you as well. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. This is actual video footage of Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer yesterday announcing what's going to be unfolding and how he's saying Democrats, they're getting things done so that way they can convince the American people to keep them in power in these upcoming midterm elections. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Now, Mr. President, Senate Democrats are getting things done. This has been one of the most productive stretches the Senate's seen in recent times. In the past few months, we've seen an amazing string of achievements pass through this chamber in extremely fast succession. The first major gun safety bill in 30 years, the largest investment in American manufacturing and science in a generation, the largest expansion of veterans' benefits in decades, and just last night, we strengthened NATO by approving the accession of Sweden and Finland, sending Russia a signal that they cannot intimidate America or Europe. Gun safety, CHIPS, PAC, NATO, getting any one of these accomplishments done is a significant feat for the Senate. The fact is, we've done them all since Memorial Day, and that's quite remarkable. And this doesn't even include a once-in-a-generation infrastructure bill, a historic rescue package to vaccinate the nation and lift America out of the pandemic, and the confirmation of Ketanji Brown Jackson as the first black woman to ever serve on the U.S. Supreme Court. I've always said that when the opportunity arises, Democrats would be ready to work with our Republican colleagues on important legislation, and many of the accomplishments I've listed are examples of just that. But when we must, Democrats have also made clear we're ready to go at it alone to deliver big things that the American people sent us here to work on, like fighting inflation and lowering health care and prescription drug costs, like holding drug companies accountable and making big business play by the rules, same rules as everyone else, like passing historic investments in clean energy to create millions of good-paying jobs and make energy more affordable for American families. Democrats are going to deliver on all these things and more when we pass the Inflation Reduction Act in coming days. Let me talk a little bit about the Inflation Reduction Act. Soon the Senate will vote on this groundbreaking legislation. I expect we'll have some late nights and extended debates here on the floor. But in the end, we're going to make good on our word to pass the Inflation Reduction Act. For years, many in Washington have promised to tackle some of the biggest challenges facing our nation only to fall short. But with the Inflation Reduction Act, Senate Democrats will finally hold drug companies accountable and make prescription drugs cheaper. Senate Democrats will lower energy costs while passing the largest investment in clean energy ever. Our clean energy proposals will reduce air pollution, prevent thousands of needless deaths each year, and reduce asthma attacks by 100,000 per year. We've all seen kids, often in poor neighborhoods, struggling with asthma because they have so much pollution put in their areas by transportation and factories and whatever. Reducing that by 100,000 a year is amazing. Senate Democrats will also close tax loopholes and reduce the deficit, and will ensure that no small business or family under 400,000 years will see their taxes go up. Leader McConnell himself conceded yesterday that our proposal, quote, includes no new tax rate increases. That's true. That's McConnell's words. Includes no new tax rate increases. That's true. Let me repeat again. Leader McConnell concedes that now the Inflation Reduction Act includes no new tax rate increases. The American people overwhelmingly support these steps. A recent poll by the well-respected Navigator shows 65% of Americans approve our plan to reduce drug prices, keep premiums low, and invest in clean energy. A Morning Consult poll found that over 70% of Americans, over 70%, support letting Medicare negotiate prescription drug prices, which our plan will do. And another group, Data for Progress, found the Inflation Reduction Act has a net approval of 51 points. 51 points. Wow. It's not hard to understand why Americans feel this way. Democrats' agenda prioritizes them. We prioritize the middle class and working families instead of those at the very top. God bless them, they're doing fine. But when Senate Democrats had the majority, they tried to rip health care away from millions of Americans and blew a $2 trillion hole in our deficit in order to soak the ultra-rich with massive tax cuts. Just this week, one Republican called for ending the days that Medicare and Social Security are guaranteed by turning them into discretionary spending. Do you know what that means when we make things discretionary? Do we want to tell our senior citizens your Social Security, which you paid into, is discretionary? Well, that's what the junior senator from Wisconsin, that's what Senator Johnson from Wisconsin wants to do. That is so wrong. But unfortunately, it represents a lot of the views of lots of Republicans who don't want to say it publicly because they know it's so unpopular. Back in February, listen to this one, the chair of the Republican Senate campaign arm, the junior senator from Florida, released a platform for raising taxes not on the wealthy but on millions of low-income Americans. You can't make this stuff up. They want to make your Social Security discretionary, but then want to raise your taxes. What kind of bull is that? Just listen to this tsunami of disastrous proposals. Taking away people's health care, tax cuts for the rich, putting Medicare and Social Security on the chopping block, raising taxes on working Americans. These are just some of the things that Senate Republicans have openly called for recently. Democrats' agenda is something entirely different. The Inflation Reduction Act will lower inflation, lower the cost of prescription drugs, close loopholes long exploited by big business who pay no or little taxes. That's what the Inflation Reduction Act is at its core. It's what the American people want, it's what the country so desperately needs, and it's what Democrats will deliver on in the coming days. I yield the floor.
So there you have it, you guys. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer saying they're getting things done. And they're saying they're going to get this passed this weekend. It's going to be the beginning of the end of this bill. And its arrival, like I said, is going to be sparking a chain reaction of an assortment of different bills and provisions and executive actions. We will see, you guys. I will keep you up to date every step of the way. And as always, thank you so much for joining me here on the channel. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, smash the like button. Just takes a second. Helps out my channel a ton. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If you want to stay up to date, come join the Ram Fam. It's free. Why not? All you got to do is hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. I'll let you know everything going on as it unfolds. Any specific questions for me, hop onto Instagram, shoot me a DM at SteveRam3. Consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. And again, if you haven't already, get access to every stimulus check in the nation on every level, states, cities, counties, that a lot of people don't know about. All you got to do is go to www.reliefroadmap.com, put in your email, make sure that you and your family don't miss out on anything. But with that being said, you guys, once again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.